And this is podcast. I don't even know what episode I'm on. I think it's episode 14.
I think it's 15.
You think it's 15? Okay. Well, it's one of the two. Okay, so let's have a it's on top recommended on Spotify, so we'll click on that. It's episode 14. Get in.
I should hope you know what episode your podcast is at.
Well, it gets a little bit confusing sometimes, okay? Leave me alone. Anyway, Meg.
Yeah.
Do you want to tell these lovely people what we're talking about today?
University.
Yeah.
101, basically.
Yeah, uni stuff 101. Also, again, I'm here with Meg today.
Mm-hmm.
My lovely girlfriend. The reason why Bryn's not here is because me and Meg are actually having to quarantine because we just got back from Mykonos, which the government took off the list, which is fairly depressing. But
What, they've taken it off?
as in, like, off the...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, off the list that you can go to.
Yeah.
So basically, they're just telling around to us saying, no, get quarantined, bitch.
And we thought rather than spend the next 2 weeks apart, we'd spend it together because we're not going to kill each other.
I mean, I already kind of want to slap you in the face when I walk around IKEA with
Why
a chair.
IKEA?
Because
I thought I was alright in IKEA.
you were okay, but like you wanted a lot of stuff and you kept going and looking at stuff completely unnecessarily.
Did I buy anything unnecessarily?
That's why you were looking at it unnecessarily, because you weren't buying it.
But did I buy anything unnecessarily?
No.
So it was a
So you were still
successful
looking
trip.
at stuff unnecessarily. Anyway, so uni, that was not a good time. Uni is good fun. It's good fun.
Oh, why wasn't uni a good time?
Yeah. Aphrodite, why did you not enjoy university? And if anyone's wondering, I'm eating Smarty Buttons. Meg is having coffee. We're living our best life in quarantine. This is great. So, uni.
Well, why don't we start with what appealed? Why we both decided to go to university? What appealed to us to go to university?
So what? I mean,
yeah,
I can see why it appealed to you because you kind of have to go.
It's quite good because we've got two different people. We've got one who is very much doing like a vocational courseware. No, that's the wrong word.
Ouch. Okay. Well, this podcast is over already.
No, you know what I mean.
I know. Don't worry.
A course for a profession rather than a subject-based course. So rather than doing history or geography or art, you know, job-based ones are like medicine, law, architecture, engineering. So two very different approaches to actually wanting to go to university.
Right, got you. Okay.
So what was your appeal to go to university?
My appeal to go to uni was I kind of just wanted to see what uni was like. Like, I loved college. So a lot of people are like, oh my God, I hated college. I was like, I fucking loved it. I much preferred it to school. I completely hated school. But college was just so much independence and what you can do.
Mm-hmm.
So you were just like, the teachers would turn around to you and they would literally say, right, this is your piece of work, run along and do it. But I really like that. And I thought uni was, if there's more level of independence, I was really curious to see what the uni life was like. And to be fair, it didn't disappoint. Other than the fact that I didn't pass first year, but we did not talk about that.
No, that's fair enough. See, for me, university was like, the school that I went to, it was like you either went to uni or you didn't.
Or you were a failure kind of thing.
Yeah, it was like massively pushed that you went to university.
Yeah.
Which for me, absolutely fine because what I wanted to do required me to go to university. But then there were loads of people at my school that probably shouldn't have gone to university.
I know, yeah, no, I completely agree with that.
It was sad that was the environment that they were in.
Creating.
And also I think that's like a very modern thing is to currently be almost like where you used to have GCSEs and then you could leave school and then it kind of became you could have A-levels or equivalent and then you left school. It's now becoming, well, you have a degree and it's kind of like more people are having them rather than only select few going to university.
Yeah.
So it was very much like a push thing. It was, where are you going to university, not are you going to university.
Okay. Monkey Boy is saying, hey, big fella, how is it hanging? It's hanging fairly good. I'm wearing boxers, so it's actually hanging pretty tight in there. Meg didn't really want to know that. But, so I think that in terms of what you're saying, I really hate the fact that some people Not some people, like some places, they don't give you an alternative to university. They're like, right, you either go to uni or you're a failure. Like that's not.
Mm.
It might have been the way like back in the 70s and 60s, and then the
But not even
80s.
so. Like you either went to university or you got a job and you worked.
Yeah.
And skills thing. And I don't think there was. I never really remember at my sixth form having much about like A-level entry jobs.
Yeah, no.
There was never anything
there
like
wasn't.
that.
They talked to you about apprenticeships.
No, I never really even had apprenticeships.
Yeah, but where did you go to school?
I went to school out in Dubai, but I still went to a British school.
Right.
So I went to a British curriculum school abroad. So I sat GCSEs, I sat A-levels. I did AQA and Edexcel and had to put up with all of their Edexcel maths bullshit.
That bullshit, yeah.
But it was nothing was
fun.
really ever pushed in terms of apprenticeships or jobs. It was university. And it was, well, do you want to go to the States? Do you want to go to Canada? Do you want to go to the UK? Or do you want to go to Australia?
Jesus.
That was like, where are you going? Rather than...
Are you going?
Are you going? And then really sadly, like, some people were like, well, if you're not going to a Russell Group university or an Ivy League university, you dog shit. Which is even worse.
Yeah, see, the thing is, you ended up going to Russell Group, so you're all right.
Yeah, by default. My first choice wasn't Russell Group.
What was your first choice?
My first choice was HIMSS. It was Hull York Medical School.
Didn't even know.
Yeah, my first choice wasn't Exeter.
Fair, okay. Oh.
I got my place at medicine. I got the interview, got my place at medicine with HIMSS, and then I missed my grades. But a couple of weeks before, Exeter offered me unconditional regardless on grades, regardless of if it was my firm or insurance choice for medical science.
Okay. I mean, look, the fact over in England, I don't know, I speak for myself. But Stuart, don't worry, I've seen your comment, it's coming. I'll put it in there on the sly, right? So I think in England, the school that I went to and the college that I went to, the college was very much pro-uni, so they really like pushing university. But the school was also saying, like, oh, you've got two ways in terms of higher education. You've got the universities or you've got the apprenticeship schemes. And don't get me wrong, apprenticeships are great, but it's kind of like you still look down on if you don't. So let's say I've the term uni dropout. Everyone's heard it, and it's always associated with a bad thing.
Yeah.
And that, like, in my head, I dropped out, but in my head it was just like it just didn't work with me. Like that course, that uni, that whatever, I don't know what it was. It just didn't work with me, and I think it is what it is.
So that was my next kind of thing.
What's that?
It's like when you were choosing universities, what were your like categories? So I don't know about you, but never really living in the UK, never really travelled around the UK. I had all these names, didn't really know what the places were. Like unless you showed me Big Ben, I probably couldn't have told you where it was in England.
Right. Okay. Got you.
So for me,
what was my checklist?
What was your checklist? What was like? Because I had like accommodation, I had city, course, nightlife, sport.
Okay.
I had like things that I like kind of like ranked when I was
You
in
looked
different
at
universities when I went round. So what did you want out of university in terms of like your categories?
So my categories were, if I remember well, so I didn't even care about accommodation. Accommodation to me was out the window. Like as long as I had a bed to stay in and a toilet to shit in, I was happy.
Fair. Okay.
I don't want a hole in the ground kind of thing.
So we'll do boys and girls on accommodation.
Yeah.
I had a slightly different expectation to my accommodation.
Yeah, no, I didn't really care. As long as it wasn't too expensive, it wasn't ridiculous, that's fine by me. But my checklist was, does it have American football? Does it have karate?
Mm-hmm.
Those are the sports side of things. Didn't really have any interest in any other sports because, let's be fair, don't really care about them. How did I feel about the city?
Yeah.
So the vibe it gave me. So when I first came down to Exeter, it gave me a really, really old person's vibe.
Really? That's
really
mad.
old person's vibe. Like, I could smell the pensions coming in.
When did you visit? Did you visit term time or holiday?
I can't remember for the life of me.
Because it makes such a big difference if you come term time or holiday.
Well, I know that there were students showing us around every here and there, so it must have been something like term time, because I don't think anyone would have volunteered to do that off term, unless they lived here. But so let's say Exeter gave me old people vibes. Leeds gave me really, really, what's it called? Like, you're gonna get shanked if you walk.
Oh god.
Because I was driving back to the hotel room that I was staying at, and we went down this road and there was no lighting. I mean, 0 street lights, and this is a main road.
Yeah, no.
So if someone was walking down there and you see a figure coming up to you, you're dead. Don't give a shit. Wait. Can you read Greek? Yes, I can.
When I came down to Exeter, I loved it. I absolutely loved it. Because I looked around some of the London universities, because again, London was a pretty big pull for accommodation and everything. So I had a little look around London and was like, this is so big, I'm going to get lost.
Right.
I'm going to get lost within London. And I'd heard a lot about people feeling really lonely in London. And when I came down to Exeter, it was like, this is really nice. It's big enough that there's plenty to do and I'm not going to get bored. But equally,
it's not
so big that I'm getting
It's not
lost.
London.
No, it's not quite London. It's a small city.
Yeah.
So I absolutely loved it. I loved the campus. Accommodation was on the expensive side, but then again, nothing compared to London prices. So I was quite happy with it and loved Exeter. But I never looked around Leeds.
Leeds was really I genuinely got terrified walking around there.
See, that was me at Bristol.
But Bristol's just Bristol, I think, if I remember well, it's the #1 drug capital of the UK.
It is. But also, I know people that either love or hate Bristol. One of my brother's mates, he goes there and he's not the drug type at all. I'd be surprised if this boy's ever touched a cigarette.
Yeah.
He's adorable.
Right.
And he loves Bristol. He absolutely loves it. He's like, I love this place, I love the vibe, I love my course, I love the uni, everything. And I rocked up at Bristol and I was walking around and going, oh, not so sure about this place. It's not bad, but not fantastic. And then I just thought the people there were absolutely miserable, in the university and stuff like that. So that immediately shut me off to Bristol when I was looking around it. I was like, how rude people
so the vibe
were.
just shut you down.
Completely shut me down. But I know people that love it.
See, I was when I went to Plymouth for the first time. I don't know why, but it really it. I don't know why, but I really loved it. Even the second that I went in, just the vibe, the whole look of the place being next to the sea. It had the Hoe. That is spelt HOE for anyone who's asking, but no, it is not a female or an actual human being. But I'm just texting the live. Just thought, because we're having a decent little chat. I thought I'd just reply to the comments instead of answering in person. But Plymouth for me was just. The reason why I chose Plymouth was purely just because it reminded me a lot of Greece in the way of you walk down the street and you went up to the Hoe and don't get me wrong, the weather in England is obviously terrible. But you had the Hoe, you could just go up there. When it was sunny, it was insanely nice. And I really liked the uni. It was a small uni, really central. Everything was a 10-minute walk from each other, from everything. It was great. Absolutely loved it. But in my opinion, uni should not be forced on anyone. Purely because, again, I'm not academic. So if someone was to literally turn around to me and be like, right, you need to do this, this, and this to get into uni, I'll be like, shit.
No.
How about no? But yeah, no. I don't know. Exeter just gave me really weird old person vibes.
Fair.
And now that I'm here, don't get me wrong, now that I'm here, it's a lot better. You don't seem convinced at all when I say that, but we'll roll with it. What's up?
Aren't you like 39? Yes, he is 39 years
Yeah,
old.
actually, I'm 73. Someone's saying why are you on live with you're on live with us? Why are you talking to her? Um, I am 39 though. Yeah, so thanks. I really do look older than I am, but hey, ho, it is what it is. Um, what like in terms of so what was your like top thing that you looked at when you went to uni? Top thing, like number
So
one.
initially was course. So
But then you realise no one actually cared about that.
no, so I knew initially for me that the teaching style was going to be very important.
Right. Okay.
So there's
got
two
you.
very distinctive ways in how medicine's taught: traditional and like modern integrated PBL, which is what I wanted.
Yeah.
I didn't want to do 3 hours in a classroom, then 2 years seeing patients. I wanted to have patient contact within the first year if possible,
Right.
and have it integrated. I really like the idea of PBL, so I immediately culled anywhere that wasn't PBL or integrated.
What's PBL?
Project-based learning.
Right. Okay.
So you have like 3 week triggers, and you do like a system of 3 weeks, and you kind of do your clinical skills and your patient contact in that department within the 3 weeks. And you do that for the first 2 years at Exeter, and then you spend like 3 years with some lectures, but mainly hospital work.
Right.
And I knew that that would work really well with how I learned. So it's the same as if you look on courses that are like 100% lectures. Like biology here at Exeter is 100% lectures, and then with lots of 4 hour practicals.
Okay, right,
And like
got
that's
you.
how biology is taught. Whereas in other universities, it's all lectures.
Is that just Russell groups, or is it just
No, it depends on the university. It just
Okay,
depends on the
right.
university. So like Russell groups like Oxford and Cambridge only teach traditional style medicine. So even if I had that kind of grades, they were like, well, they don't appeal to me at all.
But then what year do you actually start doing?
So this course, this year, within the first 3 weeks.
No, but like Cambridge and places like that.
You don't see any patients until year 4 or year 3.
So that's weird. See, that in my head, that's not right though, because you don't get me wrong. Like, yeah, sure, it's if they just throw you straight in the deep end, like this guy's got coronary heart disease, deal with him.
That's just it. You can't actually do anything. You can observe, and you can actually be on the hospital floor and shadow and follow.
See, that's fine.
Which is what I wanted. But then some people are like, no, I want to learn everything, digest everything, and then apply it. Whereas I much rather take a little bit, apply it, take another little bit, apply it, rather than lump it. And then...
See, I'm more of the complete opposite to the first thing you said. I'm all for like learning through action, but then you can't really learn if you fuck up on a ward and you accidentally give someone way too much like something.
I would never be in a position as a student to be able to give anything.
Yeah, no, I completely get that.
It's so like regulated. So like Nottingham for me ticked all the boxes on a course level. So Nottingham University is one of the few universities that still does full body dissections on humans. It does cadaver dissections, which of course, being interested in surgery and pathology was like a really big pull for me. But then I looked around Nottingham and I hated it as a place. So I didn't even apply.
I'd be so sketched out by that.
So
like I
didn't even apply.
Really?
That's how much Nottingham as a place put me off a put behind there.
I'd really be curious to see what it feels like up there.
It's one of the biggest teaching hospitals.
Okay, and so they're good.
Just humongous.
Okay.
It was like a maze. You just got lost. I remember just people weren't entirely that helpful, but then like they were in a rush. I completely get that.
Yeah.
But just the whole vibe, and then Nottingham as a city, I didn't really like at all. But
what was it about it?
You know when you can't quite put your finger about it. But I was walking about going, I can't see myself here for 5 years.
Right.
Which is how long I was going to have to be there initially. And I was like, I can't see myself living here. I can't see myself. Whereas I came to Exeter and I was like, I can so see myself walking down the high street. I can see myself at the hospital.
Well, you've been here for 3 years.
No, but initially when I first
Yeah, I get what you mean.
Whereas Nottingham I couldn't, even though the course, which was my number one thing, was bang on perfect.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna. I don't think I could. I could see myself in Plymouth. I could see myself in, surprisingly, Cardiff.
Fair.
Out of all places, Cardiff.
Mm.
Because I really like their nightlife. Their nightlife is incredibly good. But like other than that, Portsmouth, mate. It's Portsmouth. I wouldn't mind because I'd just commute. I'd live at home. But Southampton, Was it ear? Is it ear?
Isn't it?
Ear. Purely because I've lived there my entire life.
Yeah.
Well, not my entire life.
Not
My
just
entire
like
English
entire
life.
English life.
But other than that, like I'm not sure where else I could go to uni.
That's right.
Plymouth.
I'm gonna open the door just in case Mills decides to come downstairs.
That's fine.
I can hear her bell.
Yeah. Meg has a cat called Millie. Arguably one of the sweetest cats on the planet. If anyone actually has any questions about uni, please do let me know. Alf, hey, sorry, I did not see you there. Someone's saying that. Why did I mute them? I muted you because you were really not being helpful in terms of the live, negative stuff like that. Don't have that here. So if you're willing to not be as negative and be a little bit more chilled, you won't get muted. But anyway, I need to eat these. But
I was right.
Yeah.
I could hear her bell.
Wait, what was she doing?
She was just sitting at the top of the stairs.
Oh, fair enough.
She's
But-
getting some water.
Yeah, no, I think the main thing that I loved about uni life is that you really had to think about everything. Bills, budgeting, like literally everything.
You can do university in like two very different ways.
What are
You
those?
can be like one of those being like, it'll be fine. I'll deal with that. That's absolutely all right. Like I'll make do. And then there's two going, actually no, I'm gonna go out. I'm gonna be comfortable. I'm gonna like today. Don't really need a new mirror. Don't really need the shower things. But they're things that would make it more comfortable or make my room more how I want it to be, and therefore make me more comfortable.
I mean,
living
you're
down
here. You're
here.
here for how many more years?
I'm here for exactly, and like I've seen it as an investment to make the room how I like it, rather than just making do with shitty accommodation. I've done my research for houses. I've got really nice student houses.
Yeah, no, this is
Like as far as student houses go, in the last 2 years have been fantastic.
This is like a what, like 2 meter? No, well, not even like a little bit more than 2 meter high walls.
Yeah.
Ceiling even. Stupid me.
Like look at the fucking light fitting for crying out loud.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Also, Stuart's saying when will I see Bryn again? I honestly do not know. At the moment, I'm in quarantine with Meg for 2 weeks because we came back from holiday, so I've got no clue. But any hoodly do. Moving on. What were we just talking about? Yeah, no.
You can get by and be like, oh, I'll make do. Like my brother is like, I'll make do with it. He's like a tiny little box room. His bed's fallen apart. He hasn't got a carpet down. He's like, I'm fine. I'll make do. I want to go out. I want to get absolutely hammered every single night. I'll whiz through my courses.
That's the way to do uni.
I'll make do. He's like, I don't really care if I have a nice duvet. A sheet will be fine. I'll do. It'll do. It'll do. Whereas me, I'm like, no, I want to make it like nice. But I think that's very different, like boys and girls.
Yes, but then again, you have
have
really expensive taste in just about everything. You like being bougie.
It's not necessarily a bad thing.
No, I know, but when you're a student and your income is minimal, let's be fair.
Am I in my overdraft? No.
Well, you were a few days ago.
That was not my fault. Some fucking dickhead did a number on my card. Right? I'm not in my overdraft. I live exceptionally down to the penny on my budget, and I still save, yet I eat avocados every week.
And you drive a...
Fiat 500.
And she has avocados. Just thought I'd state that for the record. But yeah, no, I think there's, as you said, there's two ways of living uni. Number one, in my opinion anyway, there's two ways. Number one, you can go into every single overdraft and then ask mummy and daddy to pay them off. Or number two, you can actually think about what you're doing, how much you're spending, what you're spending that stuff on, which was kind of me, but kind of not. What I didn't spend on going out, I would spend on like Gymshark and food. So can't really say anything. As it says, avocados. You love avocados, don't you? Like literally to the death.
Just like food, but like it's an example that like you don't have to live off of baked beans and pot noodles.
Yeah, no, I completely understand that. That's also, I think that's what so many students do is they live off ready meals.
Yeah.
There was a guy that I knew in my first year, the only year, should I say. He only ate ready meals. I never seen him cook for himself other than an English breakfast.
But also the sad reality is that it's much cheaper to go out and buy ready-made curry than it is to make the curry yourself.
Yeah, true.
Which is just wrong in every way. But you can do it. Like, there's all these things like, getting students to cook and actually like what to do this. You'd be surprised the amount of absolute idiots that don't know how to work a washing machine when they first come to university. Like, I've still got mates last year that still would take their clothes home every 4 or 5 weeks to their parents for their parents to do their washing. You were one of those people, weren't you?
I didn't know how to use a washing machine when I first came to uni, no.
Yeah.
But I still managed to do my... However, I really wish I had gone back home every 4 to 5 weeks. I would have saved a number on my budget.
Yeah, they absolutely cream you.
It was 10 quid a time for me.
10 quid a time? Oh, shit.
But that's mainly because I did... Sorry, wait, no. So it was £2.70 per wash, and then you also had 2 quid for a dry. So I did 2 washes. I did lights and darks, obviously. I'm not a psychopath that gets them mixed up and then you end up with, like, pink socks. But I did 1 light, 1 dark, and then I threw all of them together in a tumble dryer. So £2.70 plus £2.70 is what, £5.40, plus another £2, £7.40.
Yeah.
I roughly round it up to 8 quid, so then I round that up to a tenner.
I did a very similar thing. I did every 2 weeks of 2 washings. I don't have any whites, so it was like all my whites, my bedding and towels in one.
Yeah.
And then all like darks in another, and did it every 2 weeks. But yeah, washing at halls is really expensive.
Very pricey.
But when you have your washing machine in my kitchen...
I still don't know why people put their washing machine in their kitchen. That's a little bit fucked up.
I know, but where else would you put it? Like, in the lounge?
You got a utility room.
We haven't.
I know, not you guys, but like in general. I mean, like
general,
a lot of people just put them in the kitchen. I'm like, why?
Yeah, no, true.
That's like... Do they get washing machine mixed up with a dishwasher, or like... What's the deal with that? Anyway. Yeah, no, I think that, like, one of my mates actually, Lucy, she wanted to make a company that was like, would make a £1 profit out of every single wash, and would put our company, the one we had, Circuit, out of business. Never actually did it, ever.
Never actually did it, but it's a good thing to do.
Oh yeah, no, 100%.
But like, petrol bills, food, nights out, and then enough money like set aside. Like,
petrol's not even that much.
No.
Like, if you're at uni, what are you gonna do?
Petrol is really not that much at all.
Especially if you go somewhere like, if you're not stupid and you don't get accommodation that's like a 20-minute drive from your uni, and you actually get it that's like a 10-minute walk, I would just walk it.
No, so I lived in town, which was a 15-20-minute walk to main campus.
And you were fine.
It was absolutely fine.
Yeah, no, you don't really need a car unless you want to be going to, like, I don't know. Like, so let's say American football, I prefer to drive to practice because it was a 25-minute walk, and I don't fancy doing that in like 5 degrees and raining.
Yeah, especially when you after you practice and got all your heavy kit.
Yeah, exactly, something. Yeah. So getting the car for that kind of stuff's a lot more helpful. But other than that, I much would rather not have had my car at uni, because I rarely ever used it. As I said, other than practice, didn't do anything with it. But yeah, I think that's like, you could very easily live a bougie lifestyle while you're at uni, but in my head, if something wasn't necessary, I wouldn't get it, especially because at uni I didn't have a job. Yeah. So I was literally living off my maintenance loan for X amount.
See, that's just it. I don't get maintenance. So my maintenance loan doesn't even cover my rent.
Yeah, no, mine didn't. But my parents paid for my rent, and then they told me you can just live off the maintenance loan. I was like, okay, cool. Lit. Okay. So to be fair, like, but when you spend £50 on an Aldi shop.
Yeah, that's just it. So like, normal weeks when you're not down here, because you eat.
I eat enough to feed 15 cows and 3 sheep.
A holy amount of food.
Yeah, that's me.
But like, could do a full food shop at £45 a week.
Yes.
Which is a lot of money for one person. But then
how much? 45.
Huh?
You do yours for 45.
Yeah, 45 a week, and that's with like I said earlier when you made the joke. That's with avocados. That's with fish.
Yeah. And then I come down and I'm like, steak.
Steak.
But I mean, like our first food shop together as a couple was back at mine, and we spent £92 at Tesco's
on a week's worth of food.
On a week's worth of food, and then we went back when we came down here. We went on a food shop, and it was 86, if I remember correctly, or 83, or something like that. So basically, we're an expensive as shit couple to eat.
Yeah, but when you put that, so the 86 split that between two people, that's 43 people, £43 per person.
Yeah.
That's still roughly about what I was spending anyway.
Yeah, true. I mean, thought a little bit less, but why am I tired? That's the question.
Demon cat keeps keeping you up at night.
Yeah, that bitch of a cat. Hello everyone. Hello anyone who is in the chat who's new. But meanwhile, I'm just having smarty buttons in the middle of a podcast because why not? We've also got popcorn down there in case you get hungry. Doritos and nuts because we're having a movie day. Yeah. Until I realise, shit, I need to record this podcast. But yeah, no, I think my top tips for anyone who's at uni would literally just be: don't spend any money unless you need to. So no Dominos every 3 nights. You don't need Dominos. Go out to like Sainsbury's or I don't care. Not Wilco's. They don't really have food, do they?
No, they don't.
Sainsbury's, Tesco's, Asda, Aldi, whatever, and just buy yourself a little crappy pizza. It'll fill you up. Yes, it tastes like ass. Yes, it tastes like cardboard. But what do you expect for £2?
That's just it. So if you say that, you can go to Waitrose or Marks and Spencer's and buy their like massive ass pizzas for £5. Yes, they're more expensive than like going in and buying the Sainsbury's cheapest one, but they're still cheaper than buying your Domino's one, and they're really good.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. Domino's is just ridiculously overpriced. So a meteor cost them 50p to make, and they sell it on for $18.99 at a large.
That's good business because how many times have you bought a meteor?
I don't often buy them.
No.
I often get them for free because, connections.
You know what I mean. How many
I
times
know
do you have them?
I know what I mean. I mean, how much is what's 19 divided by 5? What's 19 divided by 0.5? Someone in the chat, if you could do that, that'd be great. Hello everyone, we're doing a podcast. So yeah, you don't need a pizza, and also I'm not gonna lie to you, Asda pizzas, like some Asda places, I've got a place in the back where they'll literally make you a pizza.
Yeah, Sainsbury's do that as well.
They're good.
So I normally shop at Morrison's just because it's the closest one to me.
Right, but sometimes you'll feel bougie.
Sometimes I'll go to Sainsbury's. Waitrose is on the walk home from the medical school, so it kind of depends on how I'm feeling. I have the options to kind of go wherever I want.
Yeah.
But mainly do my food shopping in Waitrose, in Morrison's. And Morrison's fruit and veg is fantastic.
Really?
Yeah, because how Morrison's works is they try and produce things locally. So what you see in one Morrison's, you might not find in another Morrison's.
Okay.
So my Morrison's is very different to Edinburgh Morrison's.
Yeah, I can imagine.
So I always find the fruit and veg at Morrison's always last the longest.
Okay, that's interesting.
Meat's not as good. Best fish is definitely Sainsbury's.
Best fish is Greece.
Yeah, best fish is definitely Sainsbury's. Meats and bits and pieces like that, I'm not a big meat eater. I don't eat it. At university, I don't eat a lot of chicken and I don't eat a lot of red meat.
Until I get here. Then you have fajitas, steaks. What did we have last night?
We had
Steaks. Night before we had fajitas.
Night before we had pizza.
Night before we had pizza. And then tonight we're having chicken pesto pasta. So,
yeah,
I'm turning you into just as big as a carnivore as I am.
True.
So, get in. Couple goals. But, yeah,
what about nightlife? Because there are two different types of nightlife. Because you go out more than I do, but you don't drink. I go out less than you do, and I do drink.
Are those your two different types?
Yeah.
So basically what you're saying is alcoholic nightlife and non-alcoholic nightlife.
Well, no, because I know a lot of people that don't drink don't go out. You don't drink, but you go out.
Yeah, and when I was at uni, I literally used to go out 3 times a week. So I was a big party goer, kind of. 3 times a week is not big, but
Yeah, it's fairly fairly normal.
It's
for
average.
university
It's
students.
average, yeah. So every time I used to go, I don't know, I loved it. Like, I really, really enjoy. I don't. What kind of clubs do you guys have down here?
We have loads. So we have Timepiece, which is like the big student club.
So that's like your prison kind of looking thing.
Not really. It's like where all the sports socials are.
Like Walkabout.
No, it's where like they are, where they go after their socials.
Okay.
Like it's where all, it's like the big student club down here.
Right.
But it's
Okay.
not a chain.
You.
So you've got Timepiece, which kind of does like your charty kind of thing. Sometimes they might do like a event night, but they mainly do like the charts and classic club kind of music. You've Unit 1, which is like your Walkabout and your Prism, which does like R&B nights, but also does like normal nights. It does like a cheesy Tuesdays.
Oh God,
it's dreadful.
Jesus Christ. We do cheeky Tuesdays.
Unit 1 in Exeter does a quids in, £1 entry, £1 drinks until 12 o'clock. Banging night out.
Yeah, I can imagine people get really hammered.
Multiple times. That has been me multiple times.
That's
we
fair
have
enough.
a Fever, as in like the Fever Boutique.
Yay.
So we have one of those. We have a Move, which is your drum and bass drug lord.
Cat House. That's what I call them.
We have Cavern, which is like more of an indie club. What's the gay bar called?
You also have a gay bar next to Fair Play.
Yes, it's fantastic. Oh, what's it called?
Fair.
I've no idea, I've completely forgotten. But then we have like event halls. We have the Phoenix, which is like a big hall that sometimes puts on events. And that can be anything.
See, I'm not going to lie to you. Plymouth does not have that many.
Mm.
Like, we've got, so the big ones. You got Fever, you got Prism, you got Walkabout.
Which are all chains.
Which are all chains, yeah. Then you also have Revs.
Okay.
Revs is good for shots and stuff. I wouldn't know, but anyway. And then you've got the SU. Mm-hmm. Obviously, I'm guessing you guys have that.
With the Lemmy.
Yeah, so we've got the SU. So our main nights are Mondays quids in at Prism, Tuesdays SU. You've got Wednesday, which is Wednesday walkies, obviously. Friday Fever. Thursday is kind of wherever the hell you fancy going.
Fair.
Or you can also have Propaganda, which is, I think it's on Wednesdays at the SU. I can't remember. Saturday is Prism. Sunday is hopefully a rest day for most people, but a lot of other people just don't really tend to care. It's like...
So we had Monday Night Fever, Cheesy Tuesdays Unit, Wednesday Night TP, Thursdays Unit 1 quids in, Friday again, wherever the hell you wanted to go.
Mm-hmm.
Also on a Tuesday, Move did Dirty Beats. That was quite good. You had Student Saturdays at Unit 1. That was locals night in TP. So you never really... No students normally go to TP on a Saturday. And
then get yelled out of it.
Sunday, there's no really any place. Saturday night is also very good for Cavern. And every third week they have a hats night.
So you just wear whatever hat you want?
No, they do. They have hats in the club.
Oh.
So you know the photo of me wearing the multicoloured lampshade?
Yes.
That's at Cavern.
That looks pretty cool.
They have like a whole load of lampshades, like massive hats. And, like,
that's pretty cool.
There's one that literally looks like you pull a condom over your head. But they've all been like spray painted like luminous colours, and then they get all the lights on them and all the hats kind of like...
That's
very odd thing to do.
That's very odd.
It's a very indie club.
That's pretty cool though.
Like that's where you're going to hear your Two-Door Cinema Club and bits and pieces like that.
See, we had... There's one club that I never, ever set foot in. And that was Factory in Plymouth. And the main reason why I say that is because it was a ketty club. Mm. When I say ketty club, I literally mean everyone who was in there, their eyes were rolling back, they were like grinding their teeth properly full on, tongues falling out going. So...
Every place has them.
Yeah,
we have Move.
It was weird. One of my friends literally turned around to me and said, I really like going there. I'm like, why? Because high guys never try to grope me, whereas drunk guys always try to. I'm like... That
is very true.
So your reasoning to go into a cat house is... someone said wink 2 times if you notice me, so I just winked at the camera because why not? So yeah, it's so weird.
But that's so true. Drunk guys are the absolute worst.
Oh yeah, I know. I know. It's me again. Hello, Trish.
Drunk guys are the absolute worst. I quite like Move. Movers are like Ket Club, but I actually quite like Move.
Yeah, no, I've never went to thingy, so I can't really say anything on it. But it's just not my scene.
Yeah, fair play. Everyone has
Not
their
my
club
scene.
that they like. Like there are loads of people that like Cheesy Tuesdays. They are not for me. But I know that club
Cheesy
every single
Tuesdays.
night is ram packed on a Tuesday.
We had cheeky Tuesdays. Southampton is great. If you walk up to Oceana with a banana, yeah, I know, with a banana, they'll let you in for free.
Fair play.
I think it's before 12 o'clock though.
Fair.
And let's be fair, Oceana before 12 o'clock is ridiculous.
But like, that's just it. X is not considered good for clubbing. But there is still something every single night of the week for someone.
Yeah, no, that's. I think Bournemouth is really actually yeah. If anyone's looking for pure nightlife, yes, I do support Southampton. If anyone's looking for pure nightlife, I'm not gonna lie to you, Bournemouth is absolutely banging.
Really?
Yeah, insane. There's 6 out of the 7 days of the week. There's something going on.
What's the same with here?
Yeah, but over there, how cool is this? They took a church, and converted it into a nightclub.
Well, that's where we were last night at George's meeting house.
Well, yeah, I know, but it's not like an act like.
No, it's not an actual. Yeah, you know.
But it literally the classic spire church, everything that turned into a nightclub.
That's pretty cool.
And it's called Halo.
What's really interesting though is that people have London's the best night for clubbing. Right?
It's just pricey.
It's so expensive. Like
it's ridiculously priced.
£25 to sometimes we pay £1.
Yeah.
Right, £3 for a girl some nights, £4 for boys.
Also, Abby says, "Damn straight girl, hate drunk guys." So someone
drunk.
feels you on that one.
You would be surprised. You get it with drunk girls grabbing you.
I've had it once, and I turned around and I fucking straight up pushed her on the floor.
But that's just it.
It was great.
Girls are normally it's much bigger guys, and drunk guys are so difficult to deal with. Drunk girls are very difficult to deal with, but drunk guys that are hitting you are really difficult to deal with because they just don't take no.
See, grope his balls and just squeeze.
I've done that.
Worked out well?
Not really. His mate came over and went, "What the fuck do you think you're doing?" And I was like, "He's hitting on me." And he was like, "Don't be flattered." And I was like, "Fuck off."
They took it a little bit too personally. But yeah, like Bournemouth, you've got Halo, which is the church, old fire station.
Mm-hmm.
There's literally a fire station that's turned into a club.
Oh, we have one that's turned into a pizza restaurant. The old firehouse.
Fire station. Wow. Oh my god. Oh yeah.
We're good to go there.
Ah, wow. Really needed water after I had those Marties. But yeah, I genuinely think Bournemouth's really good for nights out. Obviously Loughborough, great for sporty stuff. I don't know if it still is, but used to be when I was.
Yeah, Loughborough for sport.
Is
courses
like top.
Is meant to be the best.
Yeah, I've heard a lot about it, but didn't really.
We rival it, like Exeter and Loughborough. We have a pretty good rivalry going on that.
In terms of sports?
In terms of sports, like all of our rugby varsities and the big matches against Loughborough, but we kind of tip each other for being given the best sports facilities.
See, in my head, Bath has got the best sports facilities.
My brother says that as well.
Bath, they really do.
They're honestly all three of them have
do.
absolutely fantastic sports facilities. But it's interesting that Exeter and Loughborough have the rivalry, and not Bath and Loughborough.
See,
Bath and Exeter.
Bath and Exeter would be more logical because they're next to each other. Like I went to play against Bath in American football with Plymouth, and their gym is. My PlayStation just made a weird noise. Anyway, their gym is massive. Like it's ginormous. You biting your nails again?
Yeah, I had a weird bit of skin.
Fucking yeet. But yeah, like it's there. They had literally their gym has got 5 power racks, about 3 bench presses, 2 incline bench presses. If I remember correctly, they've got 2 cable machines, like massive ones. They've got a massive pool. They've got how many squash and tennis courts? Like it's basically a full-size leisure centre.
I'm gonna have to take you up to the main campus then. We'll have to go up at one point.
Is it good? Okay, I'm excited. I'm really excited. But yeah, like it's like I walked in there and I was like, why is their gym the size of a leisure centre, but the Plymouth gym
So-
is the size of this little tiny room?
You know your leisure centre that you worked at, that building?
Yes.
The gym building in Exeter. A little bit bigger than that.
Well, shit on it. I will literally shit on
And
it.
that hasn't got the pool. The pool's at St. Luke's.
Oh, that's inconvenient.
That's the only thing, is that we haven't got a full-size pool.
What is it, like a 15-metre pool?
No, it's 25 metres, but
Okay.
it's only like 4 lanes.
Oh, okay.
It's not a humongous
It's not a
pool.
6-lane.
But having said that, fun fact about Loughborough's pool. Loughborough's pool, when they built it, they didn't take into account the thickness of the tiles. So they don't have an Olympic standard pool, which is why they can't hold any professional competition.
So it's not actually 25, it's like 24
4.96.
That's ridiculous.
They never took that into account
That's
when they were building the
stupid.
pool. So they built an Olympic-sized pool so they could have actually hold qualifications, but they forgot.
But
to
without the top. Oh my.
They forgot to take the thickness of the
Fucking
tile. I don't know
morons.
if they've redone it since, but yeah.
You think they would just think, you know what? We're just going to take off the tiles, drain the pool, dig up a little bit, like 4 centimetres further. What?
They'd have to go on all 4 walls.
Yeah, if it's 4 centimetres, it's not the biggest issue. But,
yeah.
like, Jesus Christ. Unless they've got pipes going or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, like, Loughborough, I've never actually been to Loughborough. I'd really be interested to go. But,
I'd be interested to have a little look around.
I don't know about, what was the other one? The other one, so, that's another thing. Facilities. Facilities in terms of your course.
Yeah.
I wish I'd looked at that. Because I didn't. And I came here and they were like, these are our oven rooms. And I was like, oh shit, this is like Nazi Germany. But
Oh no.
but like, I was just like thinking, okay, so I'm doing a nutrition course. The only thing you guys have is oven rooms. I go to Portsmouth and they're like, yeah, we've got a temperature chamber that you can literally replicate any single like condition on planet Earth. I was like, so you're telling me you can send me down to absolute 0? And they were like, maybe not absolute, but we can go down to like minus like 20 something, minus 40 maybe. What is absolute 0?
I don't know, because I was just about to ask you, if it's absolute 0, how can they send you to minus?
Because absolute 0 is in Kelvin.
Oh.
Absolute 0. Right, so absolute 0 is minus 273 degrees Celsius. 0.15 to be fair. So they can send you down to minus 40.
That's ridiculous.
Which is stupid, yeah. So they can literally replicate anything on Earth. Like Sahara Desert, you got it. Antarctica, you got it. You got it. You got it. But yeah, it's stupid. Like, I looked at it and I was like, I really wish I'd asked what, like, because they, don't get me wrong, they got the basics. They got like Douglas bags. They've got a cool exercise bike and a cool treadmill to do stuff in. But in Portsmouth, they've also got a swimming pool. Not a swimming, it's like a small swimming crater where you can create waves.
The waves, yeah. For resistance training.
Yeah. And I was
really
like,
cool.
don't get me, it's literally the size of this.
Yeah, it always got to
this room.
be. Because you get tethered.
Yeah. And it's so sick. I was like, why does Plymouth doesn't have this? Plymouth doesn't even have half of this. And I was so disappointed that Plymouth didn't when I went to Portsmouth. And I was like, okay, this is where I'm applying. And if I actually get the place, which I have, I'll go here. But yeah, absolute 0 is the lowest limit of thermodynamic temperature scale.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, really bloody cold though. Really cold.
Yeah, no, a bit too cold for me. Bearing in mind I'm sat here at like, what, 20 degrees in a blanket?
I reckon it's 20 degrees. But yeah, so let's go back onto this. There we go. But no, I genuinely think like uni's a really big decision. And I think you really need to know what exactly you want to do, how you're going to play the uni game, because that's also very important. You need to know, as we said, budget. stuff like that. So you need to keep that kind of shit in mind. But especially you biting your nails again. Smack them. Say hello, not a wave. Hello, Joseph. They want me to say hello. I think that's fair.
Has anyone on the chat got any questions?
I was about to ask that. Does anyone on the live have any questions before we wrap this episode up and we say goodbye to the podcast? Harley, hello, morning. Any questions about university or whatever? Give me some juice. But okay, so if you also, can I just quickly a thing to say before we wrap up the podcast is, if you don't feel like you want to go to university, don't. Because realistically, there's a lot more options out there. You could very easily just get a job like, let's say, for example, as a lifeguard, and then progress to a manager or something like that. Progress to general manager. So you've got options.
I think there's no point going to university if you're just time filling because you don't know what you want to do. Because most people don't end up doing something to do, like if their degree's in
accounting.
No, because accountants typically become accountants. If your degree is in geography and you don't become a geographer, like who the fuck is a geographer? Like that
yeah.
Like
yeah.
Unless you know that you're going to use your degree and you want it to take it as a stepping stone to something else, I don't always see the point, other than coming out with a ridiculous amount of debt.
Yeah, unless you fancy coming out with debt.
Going to like do a course because you don't know what you want to do yet and you're just time filling is just a little bit pointless in my mind.
And stupid.
Like, yeah, if you're really good at history and you want to go into history but you're not too sure what you want to do in the history field, go do a history degree. Find out what you want to do.
If you know 100% that you want to go into something. If you just
sat there going, well, I'm good at this and I'm good at that.
But I don't want to go into it.
And I'm alright at that and I'm just going to do that. And then I'll find out in 3 years what I want to do.
It's like, congratulations, you now come out with 27 grand of debt. Minimum, can I just point out? That's before you take into account maintenance loans.
You still don't know what to do because
you still have no. Yeah.
So many people, from my cohort, because my cohort just graduated.
Yeah.
Don't know what they're going to do. So do you know what they turn around? They're going to go do masters. And
then it's like, as soon as you do a masters, then you have to follow that because you've got no other choice. Yeah. So I don't really. I mean, masters. Okay, so the only reason why I would say, you know what, a degree can be useful is if you don't know what you want to do. Is because you can then go into postgraduate study and do a degree in something. Not a degree, but a postgraduate, something else.
If you know that you want to work within a subject, but you're not necessarily sure what you want to do in that subject, like I said with history.
Yeah, then go for it.
Then go and do it. But if you sat there going, well, I don't know what I want to do. I've got no real idea. Like my cousin Livy, she's absolutely no idea what she wants to do. She's just finished A-level. She hasn't got a clue.
Not a Scooby.
Genuinely nothing.
Okay.
Right, and she's just chill. She's not didn't even bother applying to university.
I would just say get a job.
She's working with my uncle at the plant nursery.
Yeah, like get a job for a year, earn some money, find out what you actually like.
She's like, no, university's not what I want to do. I'm not doing it.
That's fair enough. And as I said, if it's not for you, then you've got apprenticeships. You can work one of my mates, so Harry's friend, Kieran, he was a customer assistant at a greengrocer's. Mm-hmm. And he's now a manager and he's about to be area manager and he's earning 22 grand at the age of 21. Which is not, like, don't get me wrong, it's nothing, woo, but it's not bad for a 21-year-old, let's be fair.
Without a university
without a degree is pretty fucking good.
It's very good.
Or then you got apprenticeships, like let's say you got a police apprenticeship which pays 24 grand a year, and it's an apprenticeship, which is what I'm looking into going into. So you've got a lot of opportunities.
And I think it's one of those things that if you don't ask the right questions at sixth form, you're never going to get that kind of information out there.
And I think you really need to try and taste as much as you can in terms of, like, not just courses, but places as well. So you need to get a taste for what course you really like, what part of that course. But then, yeah, it's you also need to find out what city do I like most out of everything.
Yeah, because I think that enjoys it. One of my friends, she went to Leicester and she hated it, and she's now in London and she's having the best time ever.
Yeah,
Where
but
she
like
thought,
Leicester's a shithole.
she thought she was going to hate London for the same reasons I thought I was going to hate London.
Because it's too fast paced, too busy.
Just too big.
Yeah.
Just too big. But she is now living in London, absolutely loves it, and going, well, yeah. But it took her a year to work out. She had an absolutely miserable year.
Yeah.
And that was the course she loved, the place she hated.
I'm not the biggest fan of London purely because it's too fast paced for me. In my head, it's way too fast paced, and I don't enjoy it as much. But,
what I'm interested to see is how university changes this year with COVID.
I'm really curious because obviously, if I don't get the police thing, I will go into uni, and I really want to see how.
Vast majority of my stuff is online, as we've seen.
Yeah, they haven't told us a lot about it. They've just said if you guys can come in at some point to do your ID checks, and after that we'll be in touch with you about timetables, stuff like that. So I'm really, really, really interested to see what's going to happen. Yeah, so it'll be very fun.
I think that would be a good way to end the podcast on that.
On the COVID bomb.
The COVID bomb. Having a look for the future. What is university life going to be like? Are many people going to be going to university if it's all online and they can do it from home? Because a big draw is that
how's
grades
going to go?
How grades going to go? But how so? People apply to university to go to university to have the university experience.
Yeah.
Like Jamie's all online. He's paying $6,000 for a house where he lives 20 minutes up the road.
Yeah, but he's still. But then he said that I really want to carry it on because.
But that's just it. I would like to see what it's going to do because I don't think
me too.
Parents, because not Jamie's in a lucky situation with his government loans.
Right.
No, I don't think a lot of parents will pay all that money where they could just sit in and do it at home.
Yeah, no.
Will as many people still go to university? They can't go out and party and drink every night.
I don't think so. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. Not going out clubbing and stuff has been a pain in the ass for me because I genuinely really enjoy it. But not that I go out and get pissed, but
see, I'm quite happy. I like a good night out, but I'm not that bothered.
Yeah, no, I agree. But yeah, I do enjoy a good night out.
Gagging to get back in the club.
I do enjoy a good night out though. But right, guys, we're gonna head off. Have a good rest of your week. We appreciate everyone hanging out with us. I'm not gonna say keep your stick on the ice again. I'm not gonna make up a crappy one. But yeah, no, like if uni isn't for you, then don't do it. If you really like it, then do it. Can't really tell you what to do. Just make sure that as long as whatever you're doing, just keep in mind the fact that university will put you in at least 27,750 grand of debt. So it's not really a good idea if you don't know what you're going to do. So
if anyone's got any topic ideas that they want in the next upcoming weeks, drop it in the comments.
Drop it in the comments below, and I check all of my YouTube comments. Comments aren't really a thing on Spotify, so I can't really do that. But I check YouTube comments, so I will see everyone next week. Now, whether I'm still with Meg down here or we have Bryn back on the podcast, we will have to see.
We will have to see because we don't know.
No, we genuinely do not know. So, thank you. Enjoy the rest of your week. And I'll see you all next Monday at 6 p.m.